Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to RimWorld Alpha 13. Never a dull moment. We are just recovering after an attack. Corpses are still everywhere. We have a bunch of tripped traps, which sounds kind of funny. Tripped traps. Our food situation, luckily, is recovering again. We have over 1,000 veggies in storage. Despite still having a lot of meat here. Our northern defensive outpost is making some pretty good progress. Well, due to the raid, it's gonna take a little bit of time for the people to actually get back to building things, because of course we want to repair things, rearm traps, rebuild our defenses here in the south before continuing with this. Ship antimatter propulsion. I think this is the last of the ship research bits that we have. But down here we now have a ship computer core, which requires a persona core, AI persona core, which you can loot from poison ships, which we have done in the past, and we have one lying about here. Those things are really valuable. I think they're worth like 2,500 or 3,000 silver. So selling them usually a really nice way to make money, but keeping them useful for your computer core. And the reactor steel, a bunch of plasteel, as well as a bunch of components. I am pleasantly surprised at how little plasteel there is required after all. It's a lot of steel, it's a ridiculous amount of steel. But the amount of plasteel is lower, and of course plasteel is harder to come by. So that works rather well. Let's see, ship antimatter propulsion. Might need some uranium for that, not entirely sure. But we could mine that over there. We already did mine some. So we'll just wait and see. Let's see, we have multiple mining locations, so some iron over there, there's some iron down here. So once we get stabilized, we should just get back to producing a lot of steel and getting ready. But of course that is after we are done. What is everybody doing? So you're hauling steel, you're building, okay, that's fine. There's a bear that's eating corpses. I'm actually pretty okay with that. It's a happy bear. Aw, poor bear got burned in the left eye. And that's it. It's not that, no, the bear being near gets a bond of friendship or something like that. So it would be a bit awkward if the wild bear suddenly starts nuzzling people in order to form a bond or something. Slightly awkward. So just double check, power is turned off here, power is turned off there. Power is open here for the batteries, and currently we are generating more power than we are storing, but of course we have these fuel generators for that. So what if we isolate our batteries again, just turn off the fuel generators and see how things are gonna go. These power switches are turned off currently. So our greenhouse is once again all by itself, completely isolated. So once we get the power lines over here, we have to remember to turn this switch off, because new switches by default, they start enabled. And of course we wouldn't want the greenhouse to be linked to the gun turrets over there, because then we're just gonna start using more power than we really need to. We're trying to recruit Mia, 5% chance. So chances are, before the season is passed, we have a decent chance of recruiting Mia. It's better than the 2% chance. Let's see, there's a lot of things that have been marked for hauling and they haven't. So of course that is because we don't really have any more space to store it. So let's just set up another hauling bit. Let's do it over there. Then we copy the settings, we paste the settings. There's a little bit of space, so you would expect them to be holding, but we'll see. So I notice there's some plants here that we no longer have. Also, these are the very last line of defense. It's been a long time since we actually needed them. Biggest problem is you can't reinstall them, at least not in Alpha 13. So we would need to deconstruct them and we would lose some of the materials used in their construction. But it is a way to reclaim some steel when we want to. So our power did run rather low, but they never really, the supplies never really got completely drained. Which is good. So we're just gonna see during the day where things are gonna go. We are generating more power than we are using, so we are unlocking these batteries again as well, just to top them up. Once they're full, we keep them closed off, keep them as spare batteries for combat situations. Or recovering from an eclipse or something along those lines. So we have an interesting situation where we have a turret over here that's partially completed and also construction happening over here. So we're only building a power conduit here and over there, so we can actually still get to the walls. I remember we paid good attention to not building ourselves into a corner over there. Does mean that construction is going to be a little bit slower. A bulk goods trader. Nice, that's going to be good. So let's have a look. Brandon, are you still our #1 social person? Yep, you are. Good. So you're gonna go back to town. No, you're gonna go back to town, but you're gonna have a chat rather than doing some construction stuff. Right, let's see. So, of course, if we can buy steel, we will. Yes. So this is why having a very nice, a large number of silver is really useful. Allows you to buy stuff. Plasteel. Gonna buy it though. Whoa. Over 8,000 silver in for 500 plasteel. That stuff is really expensive. Is there anything we can trade in return? We have a load of blocks. We use a lot of slate, not a lot of sandstone. So what if we sell all the sandstone? That's 300. That's not worth it. Okay. Well, last time we sold a bunch of leather. But of course, leather is not really valued here. We can, of course, help ourselves just to get rid of some smaller stacks. But it's more a quality of life thing than truly useful. So, in terms of plasteel, maybe we should just set it just back to 0. We have a lot of plasteel. We don't really need an awful lot. So what if we just hang on to the silver? And if there's another trader, we just buy more steel from them instead. That sounds like a better idea. The gold, I don't think we need more than what we already have, so we're just gonna hang on to that as well. Components, might as well. We haven't unlocked the component building research yet, and if we have access to components, might as well just sell it. Cloth, we are of course always getting more cloth. We have a bunch of leather. Might as well just see if we can set it to a nice round 1000. Sell everything else. Yeah, like that. So we're just going to spend a little bit of silver and get a bunch of steel mostly. So that's going to get our stores up to 3000 or so. I think at some point we might need even more space to store things. Though a lot of silver being stored here doesn't really help. Okay, let's go back to maximum speed. Of course, once we have things under control, stuff built and hauled and all of that good stuff, then of course people can go back to crafting, and importantly, we can start turning the slag chunks back into metal. Or we can actually turn it into metal. Or into steel, that is useful. Just queue some blocks up here, also up for hauling duty. And let people do their thing. On one end, RimWorld is a game of waiting for stuff to just get done over time. And we have muscle parasites for 2 people, so that's Darknessia. Oof. It's annoying. So this is the one that is not good, muscle parasites. There's also one that makes it better. In this case, it's just worse. So Marco and Darknessia are going to be out of the running part of the time, or at least going to be less efficient than they normally would be. But eventually, that is gonna pass as well. Doesn't make it any less annoying, however. Okay, so indeed, people are just hauling stuff. There's also a bunch of stored stuff to be hauled down there, also including some plasteel. Yes, of course, from the trade caravan that kind of got involved in a war. We are still hostile with the lair of the forest, so any attack that we can get might not be pirates, but it might actually be colonists or tribals. We'll see. Also, Mia. Yeah, see chat and recruit because you are family. Yes. That's the only reason we are actually recruiting. Well, you do have a huge amount of good stats. Oh, but the colony, this large, I'm amazed actually that the colony is sustaining at now 8 or 9 people rather than just shrinking again. Because remember, 30, 40 episodes ago, we also had a streak where we had a fair number of colonists, maybe in this order of magnitude. And just 1 or 2 raids really set us back. Of course, we have learned a lot since then. And we've managed to beef up our defenses, increase our food supply, and just generally got better prepared. Cougar skin. Oh, if people want to hold that, sure. Worst case, we sell it. Hey, there's a buffalo over there that we can haul in. There's a bear over there that we can haul in. I think they might have had an encounter. Extreme infection, bitten by a tortoise. And this one has been mauled by a grizzly. Then the question is there a dead tortoise nearby as well? A buck. Heart attack! Fatal heart attack. Ooh, a bear. Argh. Or something along those lines. This one had a nasty encounter with a buffalo. It's kind of interesting, just now looking at the health tab of various injured animals and things. You can just look at them and start thinking up stories, telling stories of how things might have gone. But we are, of course, gonna haul some corpses in. And things are gonna be pretty good. Animals are, yeah, indeed still assigned to the outdoor area, so they can do some hauling if they so desire, but might not always be as strongly inclined to haul. Just leaving a trail of blood behind. But of course we don't clear outside of our home area, so that's just all the encounters where stuff got bloody. Blood just trails back in. Okay, so Corbin is researching that is fine. Frondog's busy butchering. Most other people seem to be hauling at the moment, which is good. Hauling some cloth around. Yeah. A lot of internal shuffling. It would be interesting if you could say, well, no, getting stuff from outside to inside is more important than making sure stuff is in the right storage. Well, maybe that's just being a bit too picky about things. You are resting, you know what? Please hold the medicine. It's gonna... You're trailing colonel. Okay, so then we can get a rescue dog and after that hauling. Okay, fine. Needs to happen. Cleaning dirt. You know what? You are gonna haul medicine from very, very far away. We have a fair amount, but of course, you never have enough medicine. And something broke down. Or change. Oh, also this power switch that I mentioned, we actually have it now. So let's turn it off. And indeed, this is now connected to the greenhouse circuit, which of course generates a lot of power. Enough to get the plants to grow and get to a resting state. There's a finite amount of hours in the day that plants can actually grow. That's all good. Just need to generate enough power. Okay, you are gonna hold, right? Just generate. Yeah, okay. You actually had something in your hands. That's fine. Sometimes a bit hard to see without having to click through. How is this going? So we do have the entire power circuit up and running. We have some walls up and running, so we can put a slate block in the back wall over here. If we for a moment just keep this open, then we can also access this from two sides. We can access this one, and we now have the outlines of an actual defensive setup. You might notice the rain falling, and it's not falling over here. That's of course because it's underneath the mountain and therefore shielded. So let's just expand the... There's no built roof area, there's just a... It's a no roof area, and then we have to clear the no roof area. So we can just say, no, clear this. So roofs are allowed over there. Why did we make this a no roof area? It doesn't really matter, it's all outdoors. No roofing is only useful for the solar panels and for the airdrops. So we now have a toggle. This is on the same toggle as that, so we can actually put some turrets in. So this is going to be the back wall, this is going to be the separator wall. So if we put two turrets over here, then at least they're going to be connected in, and we have a small side entrance that we can use to get to the service corridor and get on with some more mining, because of course that's going to be one of the side activities over here. More mining and guns to prevent people from going through the wall. We have this looks funny because there's a roof overhead and not there. You get this bit that just stands out. But I was gonna say, drag these rocks in as well, so people coming in don't really have a lot of places to hide behind. No, they can hide behind the ledge over here, but they can't shoot our turrets, so that's good. Also there's compacted machinery in here in case we need more parts. That's all good. Okay, there's a wall that has been built, so we can queue up another one. It's a bit slow going, but eventually we will get there. Oh, also we can queue up another 2 walls in here. And slowly but surely we are just gonna reinforce the back wall. So all the power cables are gonna be shielded by the walls. And it's a double lined wall, so it's gonna be relatively strong and secure. People are still not hauling all the things. Let's see, was this a complete overflow? Yeah, complete overflow. So we do have some spare storage, but not an insane amount. The electric smelter smelt metal from weapons is basically the stuff we were gonna throw away. Maybe we should tell it for all the weapons that have less than 40% hit points in a slightly larger radius, so it also includes the room over there. Just drag them in and start smelting them. And see if we can make a little bit of profit that way. You can't do similar things for clothing, so that's why burning clothing or the really, really bad stuff is something we do. Let's just keep it until normal. Let's not burn the good stuff. I'll just wait and see for a moment. Because there is space everywhere to haul stuff too. So I'm just going to give people some time, focus on the things they deem important, and eventually stuff will get fixed. Here all the metal is gone, that's good. We're not going to queue up any new mining jobs until we are done with the construction. Oh, we can queue up a final wall. And of course the wall to the side, we're just gonna keep it. Maybe we should put a door in. No, actually let's keep it open. That way there's gonna be at least a little bit of a connection. It's not gonna be a small cramped room. It leads to slightly better mood for the people doing the mining in there, while still shielding them from potential blasts and stuff. So, curious if we're gonna get attacked and people force their way in. Might be that someone is gonna hide behind the walls here, but we'll see about that when it becomes an issue. Could also put something in. Ooh, pirate merchants. That means we could potentially sell our prisoner as a slave. Or buy new slaves. I doubt they're gonna have new slaves though. Okay, failed to recruit, so now you're gonna chat with the pirates. Might be able to pull off some weapon stuff. Yeah, indeed. See? We can sell Mia, but of course, selling a family member, I don't think it's gonna get well received, so to say. Also, this is all overflow stuff, all poor quality. They have a ton of money. Because, no, remember, this is all low quality, and the good stuff is contained in a room that doesn't have a trade beacon. So when trading via the just with orbital factions, we're not accidentally gonna sell good stuff. This way, a decent amount of money can accrue. We had multiple organs we would sell them, but for now I think this is gonna be pretty good. We're just gonna make some money from selling some rubbish. Just to make some more space for new stuff. Let's see, was somewhere underneath here. Yeah. There's still one that is not actually covered by anything. Yeah, you. Aha! So we got some overflow. We actually don't have the wood over here that we can sell, so only half of the wood can actually get sold this way, which is fine because we always need a certain amount of wood in supply of in reserves. That's good. And indeed, this room is still good. So our northern defenses are mostly done, which is good. So if we are gonna get attacked from here, at least we have a way to defend our wall, prevent a possible wall breach. But of course, we don't know if it works until we try it. So likelihood next episode we're gonna get attacked again. Let's have a look at the history tab. Well, we have getting more frequent attacks, but I think yeah, next episode, if you know, look the time between attacks, next episode is going to be the moment when that's going to happen. And I think for that, just going to put a cut in here. We managed to build up the wall, clean up some stuff, get some trades done, get some research done. We almost have finished the ship antimatter propulsion, as well as just getting a load of steel. The 2000 here is only the steel that we actually have in reserves. Let's have a quick look. What if we just draw a stockpile all around this? I can't fake it that way. Okay. We have a lot of steel here, we have a lot of steel here. Maybe this is all considered to be our own, but I think it's only if you actually have a stockpile on it. But we will see about that next time. We do need to continue mining over there, continue mining over here, and we need to beacon off a fairly decent sized area to build our ship. Because for 8 people, we already did it last time, right? A single beam like this, we can have 2 pods on each side, so we're gonna need 2 structural beams, as well as a core and a reactor, and then the latest component we're gonna get, antimatter propulsion. I think that's gonna be a large block again, similar to this, or maybe something that's slightly larger. But in terms of surface, we're gonna need an area that's at least this large just to build our ship. I don't think you really need to make it into a long ship looking thing. You just need to have all the components attached to it. But of course, gonna build it, might as well make it look slightly pretty. But it does mean that once we have stocked up on, say, 5,000 steel, it's probably gonna be a safe. Actually, let's do some thinking. I think we already went over this before, but might as well do it again, because we have more info now. 500 steel for the reactor, 800 steel for the core, that's 1300. And we're gonna need a casket for every person, so if we need 8 people, then that's gonna be 4,000 steel. That's 5,300 in total now, and at least 2 beams, that's another 400 steel. So if we're gonna round it, just gonna be 5,700 plus whatever the antimatter propulsion is gonna require. And that's probably gonna be somewhere between 500 and 1,000. Oh, I think that's gonna be a pretty safe bet. Also plasteel, 500 and 2 times 150, that's 800 in total. We have 1,300, so we should be in a good spot over there. We are getting there. Well, currently we're in episode 87. And right now, barring any unexpected complete wipeout raids, I think that we will be able to finish this before episode 100. Maybe even in the lower 90s, but that is gonna be for another episode. So for now, we're gonna thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.